So in this book, Stealing from God by Frank Turek, he basically says that there is no sound argument for atheism. No sound argument whatsoever. And he says that, in fact, it takes more faith to be an atheist than a Christian. Far more faith. He says atheism has too many hypocrites. He says, when we take just a moment to reflect, we realize that material reality is only a small part of the human experience. Take a look at the people you love, your friends, your family, your children. Do you really think that they are nothing more than biological sacks of chemicals? If you're an atheist, that's what you're saying. You're ignoring the fact that you and your loved ones are amazing, multi-talented creations with unique minds, gifts, personalities, and spirits that cannot be reduced to the periodic table. What we learn through observation and reflection is that the most precious things in life are spiritual and not material. Spiritual realities make life worth living. Love, relationships, acceptance, hope, compassion, justice, meaning, joy, and fleeting moments of transcendence remind us that we were made to experience something and someone greater. They are all glimpses of heaven, serving as signposts to our ultimate home. And doesn't it make sense? This is a side note, but look at all the movies out there, all the stuff that's, it's all fantasy based. It's because, and people just, they're drawn to that. We're all drawn to fantasies. And why is that? It's because we deep down, we know that there is more than just these chemical processes going on. There is a spiritual reality. Atheists deny these obvious aspects of human experience. They cling to a materialistic worldview that is not only self-defeating intellectually, it's far too restrictive to explain ultimate reality. It lacks the power and scope to explain what we know is true. Atheists also exempt themselves from their own theories. They assert that atheism is true, but then often live as if it is not. Some call that hypocrisy. Let's summarize their incoherence that we've seen throughout this book. Atheists say that they believe the first half of the following statements, but then practically deny them by what they do. Okay, so they will say, the law of causality is not certain, except for theories that seem to affirm atheism. They say only material things exist, except for the laws of logic and my immaterial mind that I use to come to that conclusion. They say everything has a physical cause, except my own thoughts and theories about atheism. They say God cannot be eternal. Everything needs a cause, except the universe. It can be eternal. They say we don't believe in anything we cannot see, hear, touch, smell, or taste, except the multiverse, which we can't see, hear, touch, smell, or taste. They say intentionality does not exist, except when I intentionally make a case for atheism. They say nature is not goal-directed, except when I am doing science and depend on the laws of nature to be consistently goal-directed. They say no one has free will, except when I freely arrive at atheistic conclusions. They say consciousness is an illusion, except the consciousness I need to write books that say consciousness is an illusion. They say there is no objective morality, except for all of the moral absolutes that I advocate. And don't forget that it's objectively immoral for you to impose your moral absolutes on me. They say there is no evil, except when I try to use evil to disprove God. They say God is evil. Oops, I forgot there's no evil. They say God has no right to kill children, but I do. They say religion poisons everything, except that atheistic religion, I forgot to mention, that has murdered millions, right? Think of Stalin, think of Hitler. They say all truth comes from science, except that truth and the other non-scientific truths I need to do science. They say intelligent design is not science, except when I use it in archaeology, cryptology, biomimetics, and police work, or when I use it to suggest that an alien brought life here. They say when you stop at a cause, you stop science, except when you stop at evolution. They say the simple cannot give rise to the complex, except when it's evolution. They say there is no evidence for God, Accept all that evidence you keep bringing up that I've ruled inadmissible. They say philosophy is not important to science. Accept the philosophy I'm using to rig science to always provide atheistic answers. They say, unlike religion, science is objective and open to new ideas. Except when I use materialistic ideology to harass, demean, and fire you for proposing new ideas. And so on. For a worldview that prides itself on reason, a look under the covers reveals that atheism is anything but reasonable. It's a self-refuting worldview that steals from God in order to work. An atheist is like someone who claims not to believe in guns, but then steals your gun and tries to shoot you with it. The atheist's hope is that no one will notice. Some powerful stuff. This is one of the most brilliant books that I've ever read. I highly recommend it to anybody. Again, Stealing from God by Frank Turek.